First, we want to prep our hive. We're going to go in and remove a few of the middle frames from the box that we're going to be pouring the bees into. After we do that, we have a nice space in the middle. We want to pull out the can that's in the top, so we need the cluster of bees to come off of the can. We're going to give it a nice firm knock down to the bottom. Before we do this, if it's kind of warm and if you don't want all of the bees flying around like crazy, you can give them a little spritz of sugar syrup just in a spray bottle. This is the feeder can, so usually it's full of syrup, or at least half full. Sometimes the packages come and they don't have any syrup in them at all, but you'll notice in the bottom of your can that there are some small holes. So when you remove your can, especially if it has anything in it, flip it upside down, make sure there's no bees on it, and just set it to the side. Now our bees are exposed. We'll start to probably see some bees come up. If you have a little piece of cardboard or something that you can put over, that's great, but it's not necessary. Next, we're going to remove the queen cage. In this package, there's a little aluminum tab that's connected to the queen cage. In other packages, you might find a little plastic tab, and this is a wooden queen cage, but other cages may be plastic, so it just depends on wherever you get your bees from. So we're going to move the bees around a little bit and see if the queen is doing well. And in this package, I can see movement. The queen is moving around, and the bees that are here are very easy to move out of the way with just my finger. They don't really feel like Velcro when I try to move them away, and they're really not trying to fight me to get back at the screen. So that tells me that more than likely they've accepted her and they like her. The other thing you'll want to do is remove the cap on the plug. There's a candy plug inside, and you'll want to remove that cap. For some cages that don't have that, you can remove the cork that comes and insert a marshmallow into that hole. Just make sure you keep a finger over it so that your queen doesn't get out, because at this point she is capable of flying and she may fly right out of the cage. So I'm going to set the queen to the side. Now we're going to deal with the main cluster of bees here. With these plastic packages, they do have some tabs on the side where you can open the side of the box. If you have a wooden package that has screens on the side, you may consider actually cutting the screen all the way around. But now you can see this door opens and we can actually expose the cluster. So before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and put my veil on. Right now what's going to happen is as these bees come out, they have not gone to the bathroom for a long time, so they're going to start going as soon as we let them out. And to at least protect myself, definitely from stings, but also from any raining poop, I'm going to go ahead and put my veil on. So we're going to set our queen cage to the side. We've already opened up our package, and now once the door is nice and open, we're just going to give them a nice firm shake into the box. We're going to try to not bang them around too much. We want to do this as quickly as we can so that we're not stressing them out even more than they already are. So, nice firm shake. As you can see, most of the bees have come out. I'm going to set this to the side for now, and I'm going to go ahead and start putting back in my frames. Now I have frames from a previous hive, so I have nice drawn comb for them, which is ideal. But if you don't have drawn comb, that's okay too. I'm putting these in very slowly so that I'm not squishing any of the bees down below. And I'm just letting the weight of the frame kind of make its way through the little pile of bees that are down here. Now before I put all of the frames in, I want to go ahead and secure the queen cage in here. So I'm gonna get all the bees off of her. And I'm gonna take the cage and I'm gonna sandwich it between two of these frames. So right in the middle here, we're gonna put it right between the two frames and kind of squeeze them together. For some queen cages, you might need a paper clip or even a nice rubber band to hold the queen cage in, but you want to make sure the queen cage screen is facing downward. If you face it into the comb, you could suffocate her and she won't be able to get out. So with these packages and this aluminum tab that's on, I like to just bend it over one of the frames to make sure that she's not going to fall down. And I'm also squeezing her between the drawn comb to also make sure she doesn't fall. If you don't have drawn comb, then a rubber band is great to put around the frame and then also around her to kind of stabilize her and attach her to the top of a frame. Otherwise, they do have pieces that you can buy that will actually hold the cage. But rubber bands or paper clips or twist ties even to hold that cage in place while the bees are clustered around her is ideal. So now that she's in here and her cap has been removed, I'm going to go ahead and insert the last of my frames. If you are using used equipment from a previous colony, you want to definitely make sure you go through all of your frames and make sure that any diseased frames or anything that looks bad is taken out. And at this point, if you are starting from scratch or if you're working with some old equipment but you don't have any honey frames to add, you can actually take a feeder and that can go right on top and you'll fill it with your sugar syrup. A 1-to-1 syrup is the best for this time of year in the spring. But since I do have a box of honey, honey is always better for the bees than sugar syrup. So I'm going to go ahead and add this box on and just let them go. I'll close them up like regular. So now that we've got most of the bees inside the hive, I'm going to take the last bit of the stragglers that are here and I'm going to shake them out right here at the front of the hive. A couple bumps, and then I'm going to leave this box right next to the hive. This way, throughout the evening, the bees that are still there will get out and they will smell their queen inside and they will go into the hive. Next, I'm going to take my introducer with the smallest setting and I'm going to slide it in right here. This will allow the queen's pheromone to really fill up the colony and make it much easier to defend against any potential predators. I'll come back and check on these guys in about 2 or 3 days to see if the queen has been released from her cage. If she hasn't, then at that point, again, only if the bees are accepting her, I will remove the plug or at least make a hole in the candy plug to make it easier for her to get out. And at that point, she should get out and start laying. You'll go back and check in a few more days to see if you find eggs. And after that, it's off to the beekeeping season. So that is how to install a package.